serendipity. We are just going to shoot from the hip some questions about CoolSculpting. You can slice and dice however you see fit. Hey, it's Jess and Melissa at Bodify. We're excited to do this little video. Even though CoolSculpting's been around for 10 years and nearly 8 million treatments worldwide have been done, people still have questions about CoolSculpting and there's still some confusion. So our intent is to clear all of that up.
All right, so I think where we'd like to start is, why do people do CoolSculpting, Jess? I think that's one of the questions that we get asked a lot.
Well, that's easy because it works. But in addition to that, I love the quote from Einstein. Doing the same thing over and over again and expecting a different result is insanity. And the vast majority of people who come to us are doing the right things in terms of diet and exercise. But they're aging, maybe they're having hormonal issues, maybe they have genetic issues or a whole slew of other things that are preventing their body from changing in the ways that they want. And good, bad, right or wrong, how we feel in our own skin impacts our day. So people are sick of that proverbial wall and banging their head against it, and they're finally willing to take charge, invest in themselves and in technology that's consistent, predictable, FDA cleared, and at Bodify we guarantee results, and there's little to no downtime, so it's a win-win.
Great answer.
Thanks. So next question I think we hear is, what does a consultation look like? Whether it's virtual or in person, some people are a little bit nervous about coming in or doing it over Zoom.
So first and foremost, we always want to say our consultations are no pressure and they're non-judgmental. I think that's important because people are nervous to come in. They're bearing parts of their body that they don't even want to show their significant other. And so when you come in, you sit down with one of our trained technicians. We have 7 staff members. We are all CoolSculpting certified. We've gone to CoolSculpting University, master's CoolSculpting training, and so
we teach classes.
Yeah, we teach classes. You really are sitting down with an expert. We just want to get to know you. What areas are frustrating you? What have you been doing to try and change that area on your own, and why are you frustrated with it? So we're going to go over the technology. We'll tailor it to what you want. Do you want a lot of science? Do you want a little bit of science? But we want you to have a really good understanding of what CoolSculpting is and what it can do for you. The next step is going into one of our treatment rooms. We have you change into these very super sexy disposable garments, which nobody loves, and it's kind of one size fits no one. And we will assess the areas that are bugging you. One, we want to make sure that you are a good candidate for the process, because we do guarantee a result. So we're never going to treat anybody that is not a good candidate. We're going to map out a plan. We use these little washable markers so that we can show you the exact area that we're going to be treating, which applicators, where we're going to place them, and why. After that's over, you've asked your questions, we're going to go back and sit down and look at before and after photos.
It's my favorite part.
It is. So it's really important that we're on the same page. We guarantee a result. We want you to be excited about your treatments and about your results. But visually, you need to be able to see what CoolSculpting can and can't do. And so sitting down and let's look at 50 different people that look similar to you that are treating the same area. They've done it once, they've done it twice, they've done it 3 times. That way you can really get a good idea of what to expect with CoolSculpting. And then we're going to sit there and map out the treatment plan. What area you're going to treat, how many times we're going to treat it so we can get your desired result, and then of course what everybody wants to know is what the pricing is. After that, it's simply up to you. Is this a good fit? Is it a bad fit? We move forward.
Perfect. So then I think the next question really is, well, why does CoolSculpting cost what it costs? And I think if people are honest with themselves and they look at the amount of money that they spent on diet pills or exercise courses or different diets and the food and the nutrition that comes with that, or health coaches, they're actually going to start saying, wow, I have spent a lot of money on tools and resources and techniques that haven't changed my body in the way that I want. So again, people come to this point in their life where they say, I want something that's predictable, I want something that works, and I'm willing to invest my hard-earned money into a technology as long as I'm going to a provider that guarantees results, is an expert, and can show me their own before and after so I can visually see and understand how my body is going to change. So let's face it, these machines, I love them. A ton of technology and research and development went into them. 8 million treatments have been done worldwide. The aesthetic world is brutal. If these did not work, this technology would be gone instead of year after year freezing more and more fat. And so I think because the technology is incredible, because it's consistent, because it's predictable, because it gets rid of fat in a lasting way and done in a non-invasive way, of course there's going to be a price tag to it. But what we find is people are absolutely willing to invest in themselves because, again, they're sick of banging their head against that wall and not seeing the changes they want, and they want confidence, they want a higher self-perception, and they finally want to close the gap between the body they have and then the one they want, and this little guy can help them get there. So Melissa, let's talk about setting proper expectations. A lot of times people will come into Bodify and they'll say, hey, I went to XYZ med spa and they told me I only needed to put one little applicator right across my stomach and I'm gonna look like a supermodel. So why is our philosophy different?
So CoolSculpting, like Jessica said, is FDA cleared. It's non-invasive. It can only remove so much fat with each treatment that it does.
I can't turn this bad boy up?
I wish we could turn the freezing setting, but we'd probably get some frostbite. So we can only get around 20 to maybe 25% reduction with each treatment. So if we just do one treatment, we're gonna see a little bit of change. 20% of lasting permanent fat reduction is pretty awesome with just a 35-minute treatment. But most people want more than that. They want something transformative. And so once we sit down with you and really figure out what your goal is, where you want to be, you see before and after photos and say, yeah, that's what I want to look like. Now we know how many treatments you need to do. So we're losing around 20% of the fat in the area with each treatment. We can space treatments as soon as 1 month apart. Sometimes we wait a little bit longer. It is a 2 to 4 month process. So after a few treatments, we can get 20, 40, 60, 80% fat gone in that area. But we're never going to tell you that it's all going away with one treatment. Just simply, it's not possible, and it doesn't set us up for success or you for success with CoolSculpting.
And I think that really begs the next question, which is, well then why are there people on the internet that saying they invested in CoolSculpting and it wasn't worth it or it didn't work? And I think the reality is, yes, there are absolutely a small percentage of people in humanity that can do CoolSculpting. Their fat cells are covered in down comforters, they don't get the eviction notice, and it's not going to work. But in our experience of nearly 23,000 treatments, that percentage of people is so small. So the vast majority of people who I feel claim that they didn't see the reduction that they wanted or CoolSculpting didn't work or it was a waste of money boils down to a few reasons. Number one, as Melissa just stated, expectations, right? As a consultant, you have to understand the technology and what it does and what it doesn't do, and you also have to have the courage during a consultation if somebody is starting to say things that indicate that they're way off base and what the results are going to look like. You have to have the courage to stop them in their tracks, redirect them and say, guess what? That's not what we're going to achieve with CoolSculpting. Secondarily, we're master certified. We eat, live, sleep, and breathe CoolSculpting, and so we know how to build effective treatment plans. About 90% of people after COVID and reopening, they didn't rehire or bring back their staff that they had. And so there's a ton of newbies out there, and lack of training is the number one thing that's going to get people lackluster results. If you don't understand how the technology works, which applicators to use, instead of saying, hey, you need these applicators, you say, oh, I'm going to try and fit into your budget and I'm going to undertreat you just because I want you to be able to move forward. Those are all things that are going to give people not a result that they're overly excited about. And then lastly, because we have a guarantee, we have integrity. We're not going to move forward with someone if we don't believe we can get you a result. And most offices, unfortunately, they don't care. So they're going to treat you whether you're a good candidate or not. And if you're not a good candidate, of course you're not going to get good results. So that's why you have to go to an expert, someone who guarantees results, someone who can show you the type of results that they got with their own clients so that you know you can get that consistent and predictable result that we've seen tens of thousands of times. So Melissa, I think the other question, and it kind of plays into that one, is why can't I just go to someone on Groupon, and why does it matter? This machine is the same in our office as it is in any other CoolSculpting provider's office. So why can't I just go to the person who's charging the cheapest amount?
Let's leave Groupon for the restaurants. Why is one surgeon with a scalpel different from another surgeon with the exact same scalpel, or a dentist? It's the same thing for us. CoolSculpting, the machine is a tool. The person providing that service to you or that technique to you is the artist, the master. They're the creator of this body that you're going to have. Where we place the applicator really does matter. And the fact that CoolSculpting is the only thing that we do, we've been doing it for over 10 years. I mean, we've done 23,000 treatments at this point.
That's a
We've
lot.
really honed our craft. Unfortunately, we get people that get the Groupons that wanted the cheap deal. That's all they wanted, or they went online and found like a $99 fat freezing machine on Amazon. Well, they're coming back to us to fix them. Because if you're not placing it in the right way, we can leave divots, indents. I've seen burns on people that didn't go to somebody who was experienced. So it really does matter who you go to. We eat, sleep, and breathe CoolSculpting, and when it comes to your body, price should not be the option or the only option. You really want to make sure you go to somebody that's all that they do and that they really are a master in their craft.
And I think instinctively, people understand this, right? You get what you pay for.
Yes.
If you go cheap, well, you might not get a great result. But for some reason, myself included, we kind of get caught up in this excitement of, oh, it's the machine and I want the result and maybe I can just save a few $100s here or there. But what we have found, again, in the 10 years of doing CoolSculpting and thousands of treatments, is that people get messed up. Now they want to hide a body part that they were embarrassed to show off before, and then inevitably they end up spending even more money, so do it right from the start. And so those are our wise words of wisdom.
All right.
Any other questions, or we're good?
I think we're good. Well, thanks for joining us. We'll do this again, but yeah, happy freezing.
Happy